Hello and welcome back. Finally, I think we are up to letter V. Now, I wanted to do another episode that was relevant to the calf of man, which is where I still am now. So V is for vulnerable species on the calf.
The Calf of Man Bird Observatory has been collecting ornithological or bird-related data since 1959. The long-term collection of data like this enables us to monitor populations, migration, shifts, patterns and trends. With anthropogenic threats like climate change and habitat loss, some quite shocking discoveries are starting to emerge. There are two species I would like to focus on today. Number one, our resident species and seabird, the European shag. And secondly, a migratory species, the Whinchat.
The UK is home to a third of the global population of shags, but this is only 17,000 pairs. Now, they were red listed in 2015 and have been identified as conservation priority due to severe declines in population of over 50% in the last 25 years. They are common around the UK with high densities on the coast. However, the stronghold we have here are not safe. Here are some of the issues they face. A notable feature of shag biology is that they are particularly susceptible to periods of low food availability, usually caused by prolonged periods of strong onshore winds, which actually make foraging very difficult for them. An increase in storms predicted due to climate change is likely to increase mortality, as breeding abundance is heavily affected by the incidence of mass mortality events known as wrecks. Additionally, shags don't produce much oil. They must dry off after feeding in order to fly again. So if they're continually waterlogged, it makes it harder to do so, which drives the population down further. The favourite food of many seabirds, sand eels, are also declining in abundance due to overfishing and an increase in sea surface temperatures. Shags are also very sensitive to disturbance, so any fast-moving vessels and activity happening out on the water is likely to displace them again from their foraging grounds, and they may not return. But what can you do? Well, when you're out on the water, you can definitely keep a mindful distance from any wildlife you come across, but you can also help by resighting colour rings.
Colour ringing involves fitting an additional ring to the leg of a certain species, ones that are of particular interest so that they are easier to spot in the field. So if you haven't already, invest in a pair of binoculars. You can report a found ring via the BTO, the British Trust of Ornithology website. It is so easy. Citizen science is integral to drive conservation efforts.
The continuation and enhanced monitoring and ringing of these species is encouraged. Here on the Calf of Man, shag colonies have been monitored with breeding birds being ringed since 1959, with a peak in breeding numbers during the 1970s to 80s. In the last few years, we have seen a huge decline in occupied nests, from 220 in 2000 compared with 107 in 2019, which is a decline of 51%, as you can see here on the graph.
Now for the Windchat.
Information and data collected by volunteers taking part in breeding bird surveys have shown a decline in Whinchat by 53% since the 1990s, although the decline started a long time before this, when breeding pairs were lost in many of the lowland areas due to habitat loss and also agricultural practices, making them become more and more restricted and also their habitat more fragmented. Globally, they are of least concern due to their large range. However, in the UK, they have also been red listed in 2015 due to the substantial decline in population.
Since 1990, numbers recorded on the calf have contracted along with the range and time frame of recorded birds. Whinchat are among a suite of species that winter in Africa and correspondingly are showing the strongest population declines among migrant species due to climate change.
But I want to end on a positive note, so here is a success story featuring a species I have already done a video about, the Manx shearwater. This ground nesting seabird suffered dramatically after the introduction of pests back in the 1700s after shipwrecks. For many, many years, there were no breeding pairs recorded until the year 2000. Now, after a successful eradication program of these pests, we now have over 1,000 pairs. And believe it or not, the area behind me here is the largest Manx shearwater colony we have on the calf. Thank you all for watching and stay tuned for my next video.